It's 2:47 in the morning. My coffee went cold 2 hours ago. I've already responded to a domestic dispute, a car crash on the highway, and a call about a man standing on a bridge, just standing there, not moving. And the shift doesn't end for another 4 hours. People see the badge. They see the uniform. Some of them wave. Some of them pull out their phones the second they spot me. But nobody sees what the day actually looks like from the inside. Until now. I'm going to take you through 24 hours in the life of a modern police officer. Not the Hollywood version, not the press release version, the real one. The decisions you never get warned about in the academy, the moments that stay with you for years, and the strange, complicated truth about what it means to wear this badge in today's world. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a police car the same way again. Let's start before the shift even begins, because that's where most people get it wrong. They think a cop's day starts when they put on the uniform. It doesn't. It starts the night before, when you're lying in bed running through the calls from your last shift. Did I say the right thing to that woman? Should I have pushed harder for the ambulance? Did that kid get home safe? Sleep for a police officer is complicated, not because we're dramatic about it, but because your brain doesn't have an off switch when your job involves other people's worst days. So you wake up, you check the news before your feet hit the floor, because if something happened overnight in your district, you need to know before briefing. You check your phone for any department updates, you make coffee, you put on the vest, and you remind yourself, today, stay sharp, stay human, stay alive. That's the morning routine. Every single day, briefing is at 700. The sergeant runs through the overnight incidents, a break-in on Maple Street, a reported stolen vehicle, a person of interest from a case last week who was spotted near the school. You write it all down. You memorize the faces, then you're out. Car 14, Sector 3, and the radio crackles to life almost immediately. Here's something the public doesn't understand about modern policing. You are rarely doing just one thing at once. You're driving your sector, you're scanning, you're listening to dispatch, you're mentally filing away the car parked at the wrong angle in front of the pharmacy, the woman walking fast with her head down at 7 in the morning, the group of teenagers who scatter just a little too quickly when they see your cruiser. You're not paranoid, you're pattern reading. There's a difference, and it takes years to learn that difference. First call of the day. Noise complaint. A neighbor says the guy upstairs has been playing music at full volume since 4 a.m. You knock on the door. The guy opens it. He looks exhausted. Red eyes, not angry, something else. You ask, "You doing okay?" He says, "My wife left last night. Took the kids." And just like that, the noise complaint is no longer a noise complaint. This is the part of the job nobody tells you about in recruitment videos. You show up expecting one thing, and you find another. And you have to pivot. Immediately, completely, from officer to human being. You sit with him for 12 minutes. You don't write a ticket. You don't make a report. You just talk. And when you leave, he thanks you. And you carry that with you all day, wondering if he's going to be okay. People ask me all the time, what's the hardest part of being a cop? They expect me to say the danger, the gunfights, the chases. But honestly, the hardest part is the decisions. The ones you make in 2 seconds that you'll spend 2 years analyzing. A call comes in, disturbance at a convenience store. Male suspect, possibly armed, acting erratically. You arrive. There's a man in the parking lot, late 30s, agitated, pacing back and forth. He sees you. His hands go to his waistband. Time slows down. Your brain processes 6 things simultaneously. His posture, his eyes, the way his hand moves, the bystanders 10 feet to your left, your partner's position, the exit routes. You draw, you give commands. Clear, loud, controlled. He pulls out a phone, a cracked Samsung with a black case. He starts crying immediately. Tells you he just found out his mother died. He was calling the hospital over and over, and they kept putting him on hold. You holster, you breathe, you help him make the call. And later that night, after the shift, you sit in your car in the parking lot of the station for about 15 minutes. Just sitting. Because that moment, That 1-2 second moment where everything could have gone differently, it lives in you. It doesn't leave. That is the weight of the badge that nobody photographs. Modern policing isn't just about crime anymore. That's the reality that doesn't make it into the headlines. On any given shift, you might respond to a mental health crisis. And in most cities, there is still no dedicated mental health response unit, so it falls on you. You respond to overdoses. You respond to homeless individuals who need medical attention but refuse it. You respond to schools when a teacher flags a student whose behavior has suddenly changed. You check on elderly residents who haven't been seen in days. You are, in practice, the first responder to everything society hasn't figured out how to handle yet. And you do it with the same training, the same equipment, and the same tired body that already handled 4 other calls that morning. The academy teaches you use of force. It teaches you criminal law, defensive tactics, report writing. But it doesn't fully prepare you for the 11-year-old girl who opens the door during a welfare check and tells you, in complete calm, that her mother hasn't moved from the bedroom floor since yesterday. You go in. You assess. You call EMS. The mother is alive. Barely. Overdose. And while you wait for the ambulance, the little girl sits next to you on the couch and asks, "Is she going to be okay?" What do you say? What is the right answer? The honest one or the kind one? You choose both. You hold both. And you carry it home. Hey, before we go any further, if this video is giving you a perspective you've never seen before, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. I make videos like this regularly. Real stories, real experiences, nothing filtered. There are people watching this right now who've never thought about what a shift like this actually looks like. And if you think someone you know needs to see this, share it with them. Every subscriber helps this channel reach more people. Now let's keep going, because the afternoon shift is where things really get intense. Lunchtime, if you can call it that, is usually something you eat in the car between calls. A sandwich that's been sitting in your bag since morning. Maybe a gas station coffee if you're lucky. There's no scheduled lunch break in the way most people understand it. You eat when the radio is quiet, and the radio is almost never quiet. The afternoon brings a different energy to the streets. Schools let out, traffic builds, tensions that were simmering since morning start to boil. A traffic stop that begins as a routine expired registration turns into a discovery of 3 grams of cocaine in the glove box and a warrant for the driver from another county. Standard procedure kicks in. You call for backup. You follow protocol step by step. You document everything perfectly because you know that in court, every word you write today will be read aloud 6 months from now, and a defense attorney will have had that entire time to find a flaw in your process. Modern policing is not just physical. It's legal, it's procedural, it's documentation. Every report you write is a legal document. Every body cam frame is potential evidence. Every decision you make is reviewable by your department, by the courts, by the public, by the internet. You are always being watched, and you have to be okay with that. You have to do the job the right way, not because someone is watching, but because it is the right way. That's what integrity looks like when the cameras are rolling and when they're not. By 6 p.m., you've handled 11 calls. Your feet hurt. Your back hurts. You've filled out 4 reports. You've had 2 conversations you'll never forget. One with a grieving father who just lost his son to a gang shooting, and one with a 7-year-old boy who waved at you from a school bus and yelled, "I want to be a police officer when I grow up." And somehow both of those moments hit you in the exact same place. Because this job will break your heart on a Tuesday afternoon and then remind you why you chose it 5 minutes later. Evening shifts are their own world. The city changes after dark. The calls get heavier. Domestic violence incidents spike. DUI stops increase. The people who are in crisis are deeper in it by midnight. You respond to a disturbance at an apartment complex. Neighbors called in a fight. When you arrive, a woman opens the door with a split lip and shaking hands. Her partner is in the back of the apartment, silent, waiting. You separate them. You speak to her alone. She doesn't want to press charges. This is one of the most frustrating and heartbreaking realities of domestic violence response. The law can only do so much when the person who was hurt chooses not to move forward. You explain her options. You give her the number for a shelter. You make sure she has what she needs. You document everything in meticulous detail because documentation in these cases saves lives. Sometimes not today, but eventually. You leave. You hope. You drive to the next call. Near the end of the shift, oh, it's almost 2 a.m. now. There's a call that comes in soft, almost casual from dispatch. Welfare check, male. Bridge on 5th, standing near the railing. You know what that means before you get there. You arrive. He's there. Young guy, maybe 22, 23, standing close to the edge. You don't rush him. You don't grab him. You do what the best crisis training in the world ultimately distills down to. You talk to him like he is a person, because he is, because that's always the beginning and the end of it. You learn his name. You stay with him for 47 minutes in the cold and the dark and the rain. You don't pretend to have answers. You just stay. Eventually, he steps back from the railing. He sits down on the curb. He lets the paramedics come. You drive back to the station. You park. You sit in the car for a while. And you think, this is why. On the worst days, on the days when the paperwork is endless, and the criticism is loud, and the coffee is cold, and the hours are brutal, this is why. Because somewhere tonight, a 22-year-old is still alive. The shift ends at 0300. You write your final reports. You debrief with your partner. You change out of the uniform. But the day doesn't end when the uniform comes off. You drive home. You walk through the door quietly because your family's asleep. You look in on whoever is there, a partner, a kid, a dog, and you feel that specific, indescribable thing that cops feel at the end of a shift. Gratitude and exhaustion in equal measure. You set your alarm. You lie down. And you think about tomorrow. Because tomorrow there will be more calls, more decisions, more moments that nobody ever photographs. More chances to get it wrong. More chances to get it right. More chances to make a difference in somebody's worst day. That's the life. That's the job. That's the badge. Not perfect, not always pretty, but real and worth it. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through. It genuinely means the world to me. If this video gave you a new perspective, a new respect, or even just a new question about what modern policing actually looks like, then it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Drop a comment below and tell me, what surprised you most? What do you want to know more about? I read every single comment, and I build future videos around your questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it right now. Hit the button, turn on notifications, and come back for the next one. There are so many more stories to tell. Stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next video.